Hey, beautiful people. I know 2020 has been the way it is, and you're already getting overwhelmed with all the lockdown, travel restrictions, social distancing, and everything. But I hear some countries that need to open up their borders, and if one of your plans is to travel to the abroad after the period of lockdown, you might want to watch this video to the end to get some of the tips, the reminders, things. If you're a frequent traveler, you already know, you probably have forgotten during the lockdown. So I just want to remind you and to share some knowledge with people that don't know some of these things. So keep it locked. Hi, this is Ada's Place and I am Ada. So if you're new to my channel, welcome to the family. Please, if you find my reminders, my tips, my videos really helpful, I would like you to subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up, and also please invite your family members, invite your village people, invite your friends and family, everybody that would gain from what I'm saying, to subscribe to my channel as well. So today we're going to talk about things you should know before you take that flight. Things you should know before you enter the train. Whatever medium of means or transportation you decide to choose, things you should just have in mind before you leave your house to another person's country. The first and most basic thing should be to please have a passport. Please. Because you're not going to travel internationally without a passport. And if you have plans of doing that, like traveling internationally, but not without the passport part, you should please get a passport, a valid passport. And even if you have a passport, but then the passport is not valid, you should renew your passport. Okay, that being out of the way, I think my number one tip is the only kind of visa you have. That's if you need a visa to go to a particular country. There are different kinds of visas, but then you have the multiple entry and then the single entry kind of visas. Multiple entry that you can enter and leave the country or the state whenever you want to, like as long as the span of the visa lasts. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, for instance, if you have a 3-month visa and it's multiple entry, that means you can leave and enter the country multiple times within the length of 3 months. But if it's a single visa, that means you can't, once you leave the country, you can only get a new visa to get back into the country, whether or not your visa has expired. Yeah. Then again, for some nationalities, you might not need a visa to enter into the country, but then you need to get a visa when you arrive in the country. I'm talking to people from the United States, from Canada, places like that. So you'd want to know the country you fall into, probably countries that need visas to go to anywhere, or countries that you have to, you can travel and then get a visa later. Something else you should also know is the kind of visa you have, like if your visa allows you to work in that country or not, because it would be a shame if you go into a country and then at the first attempt you're already thrown in jail. You wouldn't want to do that. So you need to understand the kind of visa you have, when it expires, so you can make adequate plans, of course. The number 2 tip is your baggage allowance. Of course, you're free to travel, but please, I beg you, don't travel with your whole house. You should pack your things with wisdom, because you have something called a baggage allowance. For instance, if you have a 45 kg baggage allowance, you can't travel with a luggage that weighs more than 45 kg. You would want to pack the essential things, of course. And then again, depending on the flight, some flights give like way lower than that. Some people, they can, I think I once took a flight that gave me 23 kg, and as an African girl, it was, oh my god. Yeah, so you would want to check your kg, your baggage allowance, and you want to pack accordingly. Always remember, bear it in mind that you're not traveling to the forest. So whatever it is, when you get to your destination, you can buy things there. I believe you can buy things anywhere, even as long as you have Amazon or Shojit Taobao or Alibaba. You can order things online, even if you don't want to go to a particular shop to get these things. And now that a lot of shop clothes related people are having a lot of apps like Zalando and things like that, you can order things online. Yes, you should also want to know that of course, even though we have the baggage allowance, you should also know that there is the hand luggage and the luggage, like the one that goes to the plane, the boot of the plane, and the one that you carry with you to the cabin. Okay, so there are some things that can't be in your hand luggage because they would get seized. Things like liquids or sharp objects. Of course, you shouldn't even have sharp objects in your bag. Sharp objects include razor blades, scissors, pins, needles, things like that. You shouldn't have them with you, whether in your hand luggage or in your backpack. Yeah. That being said, especially for the Africans that are listening to me, some of us like to have our local food stuff, right? So you would want to pay attention to that. Some countries seize some, they seize some strange things they don't know what they are, and you wouldn't blame them, of course. You would want to pack your local food stuff very well. Some of the things that need wrapping, you'd want to wrap them up very, very well to conceal the odor, yeah, and to also prevent them from spilling. What I personally do is I travel with three luggages, one for my clothes, one for my food stuff, and then my hand luggage. So if you don't want to travel my style, you can do your style, but please try not to put your food stuff with your clothes, especially if they smell. Else, when you wear your clothes, you'll be smelling like a pot of soup. Next thing you want to know is the length of your journey. How long is your flight? If you're traveling by train, how long is the train? Sometimes you would think you're traveling for just 6 hours or 5 hours, but it turns out that you're traveling for 20 hours. And in that spot, like at that point, you would want to have some recreational activities with you. But recreational activities, I think, I things that you can have with you that would keep you engaged. Say, for instance, a book or a movie, some things that you just want to, be with. So check the length of your flight. I've traveled once for I think about 29 hours. Oh my god. It was I wasn't on the plane for the whole 29 hours. We had a stopover flight somewhere and we had to stay for about 24 hours. So imagine if I didn't have anything with me, then it would have been the worst 24 hours of my life. So you'd want to have things like music, movies, books. You can even come with a card game. Some people like are very friendly, though you can talk to anybody around, and you can want to engage people around you, other passengers, other travelers as well, to play a game with you, just to keep your mind busy. In addition to that, if you have a long flight, you also want to come with toiletries. For the ladies, you might want to come with sanitary pads. You might want to come with toothpaste, toothbrush, because personally I find that they give in the planes not very, it gives me toothache. So I want to come with your own personal toothpaste and toothbrush. But be aware that there's a particular size of toothpaste that wouldn't be allowed in your hand luggage. So you would come with the small sized ones. If you come with the big tubes, they wouldn't allow it. They might seize it at the entrance. Well, the next thing is, of course, before you travel, you'd want to make your research of the country you're going to. What is the weather like there? You wouldn't want to travel to a country that is cold when you're coming from a hot area without having plans of how you're going to do concerning the cold. You will be amazed at how frozen you would be after staying for 5 to 10 minutes. Always make your research, and it's not just about the cold weather thing. You might be coming from a cold weather country, like say you're coming from Europe and you're going to say Africa, and you didn't make your research. There's some places in Africa that are actually cold. You think everywhere in Africa is hot until when you get there and find that there's actually a cold weather or a cold season at that point, or probably rainy or things like that. So you'd want to make your research so that you can plan accordingly. You want to get the right kind of clothes. You would want to get things that would help you at that point. You might also want to know that some countries are hot, like you're coming from a cold country, right? You assume that these places are cold at the moment, but then they're actually hot, and you're carrying your winter jacket. Imagine how you will feel. Just think about it. So please make your research on the country you're going to, on the weather at that point. Right now it's summer in most countries, but I tell you, some countries are entering winter right now, so you would want to make your research on that. Yeah, so the next thing is, some people that like to travel with pets, you would want to make your research, because some flights might not allow some kind of pets depending on the weight, the weight of the pet, and also some flights or some countries, they might want to have like paperwork for the pets. I mean, passports, vaccinations, blah blah blah. You would want to know all these things before you can carry one everywhere. So please make your research if you're traveling with your pets. Know the important things. Just know the important things. Something else that is very important is exchange rate. You're traveling to a country that uses a different currency from what you're used to. Some people prefer to exchange their currencies at the airport, but personally, from my own experience, I think it shouldn't be a good choice. Like, it should be the last minute thing. If you have no option, you should exchange your money at the bank in your country before you take that flight, because it's more expensive to exchange money at the airport. Yeah, it's more expensive to do at the airport. So based on my experience, trust me, exchange your money in your local bank. You can do that days before, whatever amount you need, and you also have to pay attention to amount of money you can have with you, cash, because there's a limit to the amount of cash you can carry with you on a plane. You want to pay attention to that as well. Something else you might want to be aware of is the language of where you're going to, the destination country, the people there. What do they speak? Not everybody speaks English, and you would want to learn the basics. Like, you imagine going to a country like China and you don't speak any form of, or any bit of Mandarin. Just imagine what your life is going to be like. So you would want to learn the basic things, like the basic words that would help you communicate. You would want to also know how to find your way around, how to ask for a taxi, how to, stuff like that. So please learn the language. And it's actually good for, like, they feel more comfortable with you. People feel more comfortable with you if they know that you're from a different race, from a different country, and you speak their language. They'll feel more warmed up to you. And it's also a form of learning. So please learn, use the opportunity to learn the language of the country you're going to. Because at that point, your Queen's English, your American's English might not save you. Something else you would want to know is the plans you have for your transportation from the airport to your destination, like the place you're going to stay, your hotel, your house, whatever. By this, what I mean is, if you're going on an invitation, like people are going to pick you up from the airport, you would want to let them know your itinerary. You want them to know when your plane is landing. You'd want them to know when like a particular time, so they don't come to the airport and wait for a very long time. Also, if nobody's coming to pick you up from the airport, you would want to know how to get a taxi, because normally airport taxis are expensive, right? But then there are ways you can get a cheaper one. That is why you need this language thing, because if you go to a country that don't speak English and the only language you know is English, imagine coming to negotiate price, like taxi, except you have a lot of money. Well, if you don't have a lot of money, you're a traveling student, you're just small people like me, you would really want to know what's going on. You really want to know how to find your way around and how to communicate so that you don't get cheated. Yeah. And then the last tip for today is the rules in the country. It's so important. Just think about it this way. You're leaving your house to go to somebody else's house. Wouldn't you want to live by the rules of where you're going so that you can even be more comfortable? I mean, imagine someone coming to your house and being all rude and being all bitchy and telling you, okay, this is how you're going to do it. In my own house, are you kidding me? You wouldn't want to do that. So just apply the same knowledge when you're going to a different country. People are from different races, from different cultures, and all of that. To adapt to this place, you have to be very flexible, very, very flexible. So please try to adapt to the rules and laws in the respective countries. Some things that are acceptable in your country might not be acceptable in another person's country. You have to leave a very open mind to that. I'm going to make another video on some more tips, things that you should also know. A lookout for that. And let me know what you think in the comment section. I hope you like this video. Share with your friends, give it a like, Please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao.